Hey, this is the One Guy Gamer here, and I'm finally back with a review. The game I'll be reviewing is Donkey Kong Jungle Beat for the Nintendo Gamecube. It's a very fun, very unique game, and it's kind of overlooked too. It's very unique in the sense that it utilizes the Donkey Kong bongo control peripheral. Now, it makes this game pretty unique in the sense that you're only using like two bongos and a clap function to control a platformer, and it actually makes it pretty fun. I'll get into that later. But there is one thing I want to address about this controller before I go into the actual review, is that you should, when using the controller, you should tap the sides instead of actually clapping if you're planning on playing it for extended periods, because people tend to clap a lot and their hands will get really tired. It's actually kind of like with the Wii remote these days. You know, people wave it around and their arms get really sore afterwards. It's sort of the same thing here. If you just make subtle movements and tap it like so, it should be fine and such. But anyway, let's get on to the game.
Okay, so this is Donkey Kong Jungle Beat. It was released in 2005 for the Nintendo Gamecube. Let's start. Now, the game has 16 worlds and 2 final boss areas, so there are a lot of places. Let's start with the first world. So you see Donkey Kong here, you clap to start, or tap the barrels in my case. Now, you move left and right with the bongos, respectively, the left and right bongos, respectively. You can jump and attack enemies like that, and by clapping, you emit these rings that you can collect bananas with. I'll explain that. The blue ring represents you can stun enemies, and the red ring represents Donkey Kong's reach to grab bananas and enemies and such. So you run around and collect bananas, which turn to beats, which are your points, and they're also your health bar, which you'll see later. And as you can see, you fly around and stuff, and there's an enemy, clap him, and then stun him, and then you kick his ass! Take that. So, as you can see here, Donkey Kong goes to a lot of places. He goes through the desert, he goes through caves, there are levels where he's sliding down, and all sorts of different ice locales. There's one where he's swimming, and there's swimming controls too. There's one where he's floating through jello, there's one where he's in ancient ruins, a stormy battle hill, lava. There's lots of places to explore here. There's even a creepy haunted valley. There's even a flaming tower! Pretty epic. But you even go into outer space. DK sure gets around. Now, as you notice here, you notice that the rings around DK, and you get different combos. The combos increases your beats as you collect bananas without touching the ground. You do that by wall jumping here, collecting bananas, or backflips, ground pounding, jumping on ropes, swinging on those monkey vines, skipping along edges, and even in bubbles. Just whatever you do, don't let enemies attack you, or you'll lose all of the points and you lose health too. You also can get frozen or catch on fire. You just gotta tap the drums repeatedly to put yourself out. Throughout the adventure, DK also has help with survival, such as a squirrel here that acts like a parachute to glide yourself down, and this bird in which you use the bongos to fly with each wing respectively, the left and right wings, so to speak. And there's the orcas, which you just ride along, and my personal favorite, this guy. Throughout a few snowy levels, you'll control him by tapping the drums right drum repeatedly. You jump. There's even instances where you clap and throw explosive pineapples at birds. That's pretty fun too. There's even a giant ass lizard, and it's pretty fun. Also, throughout several ends of the levels, you'll come across bonus sections in which you jump across and you try and go as far as you can, or you jump across as many gaps as you can in order to get as many beats as you can. Now, in each stage, you can go through fruit, and then you collect bananas for a bonus phase, so tapping just repeatedly. And as you can see, each world has 2 levels and a boss fight.
Now, you're probably watching all of this and thinking, well, it does look cool, but is there a story to the game? Well, what kind of question is that? Well, there isn't really a story per se, but that's not really a bad thing. This is the type of game that doesn't really need a story. It's just pure fun. It's just pure Nintendo fun. But if you really must need a story, here's my theory. Donkey Kong, one day being bored, just sitting around in his jungle eating bananas, decides to kick everybody's ass!
And kick everybody ass as he does! Most enemies require you to either stun them and then go up to them and punch the living crap out of them. Or kick them or, whatever. Really shit. Take that. And then, yeah, sometimes you gotta stun enemies, sometimes you gotta wait for them to leave an opening, then attack! And then there are weird enemies like this giant chicken thing. Yeah. And then there's, sometimes you gotta reflect things back at him by clapping. And then you got this panda. Yeah. Anyway, he emits a shockwave, and you gotta reflect it back up. And then you kick his ass, of course! So overall, there are a lot of enemies that require different things. You'll counter them several times, but there are enough variety of enemies to keep things fresh and exciting. And then there's this spider thing. And then you gotta punch him in his eye! Take this, you arachnophobic bitch. Wait, arachnophobic's not... Ah, forget it. And then you got this thing here and you rip... Holy shit! Don't fuck with Donkey Kong! Anyway, let's get to the graphics. There are a lot of great textures, lots of great music. Overall, the presentation is solid. And as for difficulty, it's not too challenging, but there are instances where it will be hard, such as here, I'm fucking up. So anyway, after you complete 2 stages in each world, you go up to the boss fight. And there are 4 different boss fights. The first ones are Kongs, such as this asshole here, which we gotta kick his ass, of course. So let's do it. Now, the punching mechanics here, it's kind of like Punch-Out, only with bongos and monkeys. You attack with left and right bongos, and you dodge by clapping. Take this! So anyway, this guy's easy. You just gotta dodge, punch, attack, and then kick his ass! Just keep doing it, and you'll kick his ass. He's the easiest guy, so yeah. After each level you complete, you're scored on the beats you collect and the beats you lose during the boss fights, and the beats go towards medals, which are bronze, silver, gold, and platinum. I have all platinums in this game, so yeah, you can go back to each level and try them all again. So let's go to the other bosses. There's this bird here, which you gotta defeat its egg here, and you blow up the egg, and then. So yeah, you blow up the egg, and then the bird explodes. Don't ask me how. And then, you got the warthog guy here. You gotta kick coconuts at him. And then kick his ass! And then you got these, turn elephant guys. You gotta throw explosive pineapples in his snout. And then stick explosive pineapples in his obvious weak point. Now, throughout the adventure, you'll encounter these bosses again, albeit with new abilities. However, so sometimes when you hit them in a certain amount of time, they'll do a different activity, but their weakness is the same regardless. So while they are different, they are essentially the same bosses. Let's get to the other Kongs, shall we? Because they are different. You got Karate Kong here, which you gotta watch out for his kicks, because sometimes he changes the timing of his kicks, and that can be a bitch. And then there's Karate Kong. This guy is an asshole. He will kick your ass if you're not careful. As you can see here, I nearly died. So yeah! Take that. And then there's Sumo Kong. How epic is this? You're on a fucking asteroid. So anyway, you kick this big guy's ass. But that's not over. There's still one more. The final boss. Well, there's 2 of them, but they're essentially the same, so I don't know what's up with that. But anyway, so there he is. Here, final boss time. So anyway, we kicked the big pig's ass. Now, it's on! We're gonna defeat this asshole. Epic showdown. Well, how epic is this? It's like the fucking Matrix here. Honda. So anyway, and oh, take that. Yeah. That's what you get! I'm Donkey Kong, bitch! Ow! That hurt. I tried to grab his leg, but it didn't work. You can grab his head and do this! For the ultimate Donkey Kong Ponage! Yeah! 800 beats. So anyway, onto the overview. The pros of the game? Well, there's lots of... It's a great-looking game for a GameCube game, for a 2005 GameCube game. There's lots of great music, catchy sounds, and all that. There's lots of variety and replay value. The only problems I have with this game, though, well, it's kind of short. You can play it through a couple of sittings, and it's not that challenging. Well, except for maybe a couple levels, but you know, it's not that too hard. But overall, I give it a 9 out of 10. It's a great GameCube game. You should get it. Get it with the bongos. You'll have a blast. This is the Blonde Guy Gamer. Thanks for watching.